In this video, we're going to talk about numbers 9 through 12 on your homework. So we're going to start with number 9. Have 155 times 51. I'm going to go ahead and make my rectangle long enough to cover 3 of those place values that I see in my first number here. So I'm going to give it 3 sections. 155, because the 1 here is worth 100. The 5 in the tens place is worth 50, and the 5 in the ones place is worth 5. My bottom row I'm going to separate into 2 sections because I only have 2 digits in my second factor. So I have 50 and I have 1. The 5 is worth 50 in the tens place, the 1 is worth 1 in the ones place. So 100 times 50. 5 times 1 is 5, and I can add 1, 2, 3 zeros because there's 3 zeros in my factors. Okay, 50 times 50. 5 times 5 is 25, and I have 2 zeros, so I have 1, 2 zeros in my product because there's 2 zeros in my factors. 50 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Add 1 0, so I have 250. 100 times 1. Anything times 1 is always that same number again, so I have 100. Here I have 50 times 1. Anything times 1 is always that same number, so I have 50. Here I have 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Anything times 1 is always that same number. So I'm going to add these together. I have 5,000 plus 2,500. Check those boxes off. And to that I'm going to add 250. Check that box off. Next I'm going to add 100. Check that box off, and then I'm going to add 50. And finally I'm going to add 5. So my answer to number 9 is 7,905. Okay. Moving on to look at number 10. Number 10 says 165 times 73. Again, I'm going to draw my box big enough to have 3 place values along the top. Okay, so I'm going to make 1, 2, 3. And my first factor here is 165. So that 1 stands for 100 because it's in the hundreds place. The 6 is in the tens place, so it stands for 60. And the 5 is in the ones place, so it stands for just 5. Split my bottom into 2 sections here. I have 73. The 7 is in the tens place, so it's worth 70. 3 is in the ones place, so it's worth 3. 100 times 70. 7 times 1 is 7, and 1, 2, 3 zeros, so 7,000. 60 times 70. 7 times 6 is 42. I have 1, 2 zeros. 70 times 5. 5 times 7 is 35, and 1 0. 100 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3, and 2 zeros, 300. 60 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, and I add 1 more 0. 5 times 3 is 15. So now I have to add all of my partial products together. So I'm going to take 7,000 plus 4,200. 7 and 4 is 11. Check those 2 off. Plus 350. Check that off. Now I have to add 300 again for this box right here. Check that box off. Add 180. Check that box off. And finally I have to add 15. So my answer for number, I believe we're solving number 10, should have been 12,045. Okay. Let's look at number 11. Number 11 has 630. While we have 3 place values, this 0 is not worth anything. So what we can do is just make 2 boxes across instead of making 3. So I have 6 in this hundreds place, that's worth 600. A 3 in the tens place, that's worth 30. And that 0 in the ones place is not really worth anything, so I don't have to include it here. Okay, or I've already covered it with my 30 there. Now 35, I still need to break that down, 30 and 5. So 600 times 30, 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 zeros. 30 times 30, 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 more zeros is 900. 600 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. We've got to be careful with this because 5 times 6 already has a 0 in it, but I still have to add my 2 zeros for my factors. So I end up with 3,000 there. And 30 times 5. 5 times 3 is 15, and add my 1 0. Now I need to add all my partial products. I have 18,000 right here, plus 900. 18,900. Plus 3,000. I end up with 21,900 there at that point. Then I add 150. So I end up with 22,050. Okay, that is the answer to number 11. Now for number 12. I had 927 times 86. Again, I need 3 boxes up top because I have 927. And then over on the side, I only need 2 boxes because I have 86. 900 times 80, 9 times 8. Again, I explained this in my last video. You could use your 9s trick where you put down your 8th finger, you count over, have up 10 fingers, and you count over from the right over here, over 8 fingers, you put down your 8th finger. And anything before that 8th finger is considered a 10 value, so you count by 10s with those, and anything after is considered 1. So when I do that, I get 72 here. And then I have to add 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 80 times 20. 2 times 8 is 16, and I have 2 more zeros. 80 times 7. 7 times 8 here. Okay. And I have to add 1 more 0 to that. Okay. So I end up with 56, and I add another 0. 900 times 6. 9 times 6. 54 and 2 zeros, and then 20 times 6, 6 times 2 is 12, add 1 more 0, and then I end up with 6 times 7 is 42, and I have no zeros to add there. So I've got to take my partial products and add them all together. Okay, so I added the first 2. Now I need to add 560. Now I need to add 5,400. Now I need to add 120. And then I have to add 42. So I end up with 79,722 as the answer to number 12. And that concludes this video.